Oh God, we're live. Oh shoot. I don't know what just fell off my desk. Anyway,
Yeah. What a way to start the show.
what a way. Something just crashed. Don't worry about that. Don't worry
That's
about that.
fine. Don't worry about
Good. Good afternoon. Good evening for some folks.
it. Good
Um,
morning, even for some.
no, it's good afternoon. We do, oh well, I guess Hawaii, but you guys it's not morning. It's 1 o'clock there. Um, but this is CNC SciFi Grill, episode 36. With me, I'm one of your hosts, Cliff, and with me is always is Christina, and then Big Nate, all coming from the west side of the country. West side till they die.
Gang, gang.
And today we're going to discuss a myriad of topics. I think.
Myriad.
Happy New Year to everyone, because we haven't had episodes since the New Year started. Um, but let's see, where did we last leave off? I think Hawkeye was about to end. And
Mm-hmm.
Christina and Nate, did y'all watch the final episode of that or no?
I did indeed.
What about Big Nate? Did you watch it?
Final episode of what?
Hawkeye. You can't
No.
hear? Oh my God, you are just horrible. Just horrible. Just Christina, what did you think about Elena and Kate Bishop?
I fucking love it. It's so funny. their whole,
Kate Bishop.
whole dynamic, their fight scene, hilarious. Hilarious. I want a show with just them two, because that would be so funny. Oh my
Kate Bishop.
Bishop.
No, no, no.
Ow,
Gosh.
that hurt.
What did you do that for? What did you do that for?
I don't know.
don't
I'm just.
know.
I don't know. It's all right.
Just the awkwardness of Kate,
It-
and then
And like
Elena
the
being
confidence of Yelena. So
Yelena. Yeah, that's
Hilarious.
just that's just awesome. Now, moving on to a different topic. So I would say you said that when we were talking in DM, you did say that that was a season finale, not a series finale. So does that
Mhm.
mean Hawkeye's coming back? I
I'm assuming
guess
so.
somewhere down the line, like Loki is. But Wanda and Vision, that was a series finale, right? It wasn't a season finale. I can't remember.
I think. Let me look. Now I want to look it up.
Okay. While you're looking that up, then also what happened right before the new year ended was, well, after Spider-Man, was Matrix Resurrections came out. Now, Christina has this look, which makes me think she did not watch Matrix Resurrections, although she has HBO
I did.
Max provided by one of her lovely
I've been
parents.
busy.
But I know Big Nate watched it, and he was blah about it. Blah blah blah.
I tell you, I couldn't. I expected so much more, and it
What
was.
did you expect?
I really expected a. I get that they were trying to do a play on. They were done with the Matrix, and then everybody's, the Warner Brothers refused to let them go, so they said they were going to go move on without it, without the Wachowski sisters,
Sisters.
and um, that she had to jump in last minute, or they'd have found somebody else. But I personally think they should have found somebody else. That was at best. The Matrix is always unique to follow. Don't disagree. But that was so much of a shaky script. It even for Matrix lovers, I have seen the original three movies, each one of them 27 times or more.
Mm-hmm.
And even for a Matrix whore like myself,
He whores himself out to the Matrix, by the way, guys.
hey, I ain't gonna
Just so
disagree
you
with
know.
In case you
what
didn't
happened.
know.
just
But
just FYI.
that's how I get these cigars. Remember what my man said? My brain told me that this steak is tender and juicy, and the Matrix is telling me this cigar is quite tasty.
Oh my lord. So yes, it was not a series finale, it was a season finale for WandaVision. So there's high possibility it's gonna come back. Just not sure when.
I don't know what they would do with it.
I don't know.
I guess it all depends on what happens in the multiverse.
Mm-hmm.
And
Right,
Doctor Strange.
but
Right.
let me finish my point with the Matrix.
Mm-hmm.
I gave as a Matrix whore. I gave it a C plus, which is bad because people that were not as in depth in the Matrix as I am
Hmm.
probably gave it an F. Like
I
I
don't
was
know about that. I don't know about that. There are fans that liked it, and you were like, "Oh well, it's not gonna get as many views as Spider-Man." I'm like, "You're forgetting one key factor: the difference between Spider-Man and this one. Spider-Man was exclusive to the
yeah,
theaters.
and I
This
don't
was HBO
disagree.
Max and whatchamacallit
I'm not
in the
saying
theaters."
that my Facebook is a slice of the whole life. I know that.
Hmm.
But I'm just saying on my Matrix, I mean on my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, it was a whole lot more than it was ooey.
And this is what I want to say to this. I think the same type of fans you have with Star Wars came into that with the same idea of this is what it's going. I'm expecting all this. This is all that they're going to do in there. They honestly had the building blocks, and I'm sure Warner Brothers came in and did some stuff. But they had the building blocks, and I don't think they knew what to do with it. Like you were upset that they didn't go more into how what happened with Zion. To me, they finished it up by basically saying that when Naomi and her group left, that Zion was in the middle of decay anyway because they did not want to become mainstream by working with the machines. So they
You
weren't
know what's
willing
cool?
to mace with the rebels, the
But you know
rebel
what's
machines.
cool about it?
What?
If you look at IO, all IO is the two middle words of Zion.
Well, it's also it's a goddess and also a moon of either Saturn or Jupiter. I can't remember what Io is.
It's a moon of, I think, I want to say Saturn.
Yeah,
But my thing is that it just if they make another Matrix, will Nate be
they
there? You
will.
damn right.
They
Will
will.
I
They'll
be
make
there?
another one.
Will I be there with my leather? Of course, because I didn't get a chance to wear my leather this time. Did I like what they did with Trinity? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that I have been a champion of, and Christina and I have talked about it so many times, is finally Hollywood is starting to give me some great female heroes. I want a good heroine. I want a
And it's
strong.
funny you say that because there are people that are pissed off, just like they were with Ray,
Mm-hmm.
about Trinity. Because they're like, oh, they just had to make her like Neo and blah blah blah. And the architect kind of explained it. He was like, or not the architect, he was the analyst now.
The
It,
analyst.
it didn't work before because what he didn't realize was that you guys are a pair. And the two of y'all together is what makes all this work.
And so, even though the first construct was to give him all the power, the
Hmm.
reason why they were never able to really control the variable is because it wasn't him that had all the power. It
No.
was both of them.
Hmm.
And so, when he realized that, and he had to keep them just close enough to where the power construct worked, but not
Hmm.
touching, to then they would be able to remake the Matrix as they see fit. And so I'm gonna tell you the one thing I did really enjoy is when they. I hope I'm not spoiling it for anyone, but it's a spoiler alert.
Well, spoiler alert. They'll be all right.
When they jumped off the building and Trinity was the one that could fly and she was holding on to Neo, I
Hmm.
screamed out yes. Nobody else in my movie theater, screamed out the same
There's a
thing.
lot of people not happy with any of that, but her and the analyst at the end was just hilarious.
Oh
Tiff,
yeah,
and she,
Tiff, Tiff. Christina
would
is
you get her in
crazy.
line? And she was just like, and he's like, yeah, he deserved that.
Yeah,
But Christina, you need to watch it just for you need to see the role. There's a lot of decompress. So two things. Neo and her were so used to being fed the Matrix, they didn't know how to escape from it. It took a lot of work, especially for Trinity to get out of there. Neo, I think, just needed so many pushes, and then he was finally able to get out. And Naomi just pissed. She pissed me off through most of the movie. I understood her point, but she pissed me off through most of the movie because it was like she was just like, I don't care. I don't care what happens to the people in the Matrix. I just care about what's going on in Zion. I don't care if there's people that want to get out or if they should know. They're fine over there. Fuck them. They're
but
fine.
can I tell you something? Even though she was irritating. I get what she was saying.
Mhm.
I mean, I under the machines were not chasing them. I mean, they were still looking for them,
Mhm.
but
Well, they was only looking for him if they came in there and did something that they didn't like.
right. But for the most part, it was
Mhm.
more like if we don't mess with them, they don't mess with
Mess with
us.
us. Mhm.
And I can't say Naomi was wrong.
Hmm. And
Because
because I think Morpheus probably came in after Neo had died, and maybe that's where they should have kind of went into, and maybe they went into it in the video game, and probably took everybody out that he could, and that caused what happened, which was the war between the machines. Because that was, you wouldn't think the machines would go to war, but you got scarcity of resources, scarcity of power, and all of a sudden it's like, oh well, screw you, I'm not doing this shit, I'm not dealing with this. Um, But I mean, and in the end, it was probably a more powerful love story than the first. Well, the first three have always been their love story,
I'm about to say it was a love story throughout the whole three.
right?
They just continued the love story. I'm gonna be honest with you. I vacillate. I go between a B minus and a C plus.
Hmm.
I tell you, I liked it. I had to spend. The problem was I had to spend a lot of time in the movie theater explaining it to my 12-year-old.
Well, you shouldn't have brought your 12-year-old.
No, on the contrary,
Uh-huh.
he needs to. That man needs to understand the Matrix.
Well, then he needs. Did you start him off with the first three before you
Yes.
just took him to the other one?
No, we watched all the other three, but this one was kind of confusing for him.
Because if you took him at the architect scene, he would have been sitting there like, "Dad, what's going on?"
Like I told
You
him,
mean what I would be like if I just went and saw the latest one and had no idea what the other three were
Oh,
about?
I thought you had watched the other three before. Oh, for
Never
shame
seen
on
it.
you. Give me your give me that's 10 points for Gryffindor. 10 points.
I
10
agree
I'm a
with that.
Slytherin.
points
I
from
agree.
Grip.
I agree. That's 10
10 points from your
points.
house, ma'am. 10 points.
See, you are merely adopted the dark. I was born in it,
I'm
molded by
molded by it.
So speaking of Slytherin and Gryffindor, and neither one of y'all watched this on HBO Max, but they did have the 20-year reunion of Harry Potter, and I'm surprised Christina did not see it at all.
I'm busy.
I know you're busy, but
But
I'm
I'm
just
actually
surprised
shocked at that myself. That's shocking to me too.
Look,
because
I'm
that
going. I'm
was
literally going to Universal tomorrow. Okay,
nice.
like, I will watch
That's
it
dope.
probably tonight.
That's hold on. Let me snap for you. That's dope. That's dope.
I'm excited.
But so I'll discuss it because I was the one that saw it. But that was like one of the most beautiful, lit, somber things because they went, you saw all the kids were grown.
Mhm.
I found out the twins were not really redheads.
Nope.
Ron is, but the
Yes,
twins are all
the twins are
brunettes.
definitely not.
They're brunettes.
Ginny
I
is, but the twins are not.
Yes, I did not know that Mrs. Malfoy died
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't know
and
that
Mrs.
either.
Weasley died.
Oh, I didn't know that either.
Yes, Mrs.
What?
Weasley died. Yep, she died. Mr. Weasley was there, but not Mrs. Weasley. She died. She died before Mrs. Malfoy.
That's hurtful.
Um,
That's hurtful. That's hurtful.
so they went through everybody that was there, from Richard Harris on to Alan Rickman and all those folks that had passed, and what the kids thought of that. Because if you think about it, Rickman was there throughout the whole thing for Harry and them, for Daniel and all them. So they lost like a big father figure or a big, uncle or whatever you want to call him. But one other thing which you'll love, Christina, is Jason Isaac, who
She's
played.
not dead. No,
Wait, I thought she was.
why did you do
They
that?
said no because they said that she did because they did a thing on her.
She just wasn't there.
Huh? That's weird. Everybody, even Helen Boleyn Carter was there. So how the hell was she not there? That don't make no sense to me.
There's like a
Rufus
whole
was in
reason.
a
Hold on.
Hagrid was in a wheelchair, which was like, oh my
Yeah.
god.
Wait, Hagrid's in a wheelchair?
Uh-huh. He's in a wheelchair. He's in a wheelchair. Um,
It's because she has taken a semi-retirement from acting because she has
but this
bowel
isn't
cancer.
acting. This is like a reunion.
I know, but she has cancer.
Oh, okay,
She has
okay.
bowel cancer.
Oh, why did they make it sound like she was passed though in the movie?
don't
That doesn't
know.
even make any sense in the show. So, uh, Oh no, no, Mister, no, 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 we're not doing that. No, 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 get out of here. You're out of here. So, you'll love this, Christina. So, Jason Isaacs, who played Mr. Malfoy,
Yes.
he was on there explaining everything and how him and Tom Felton, was that his name? Yeah,
Yes.
how him and them reacted. But there was a scene, I don't know if you recall, that he touched something in the store, and the first time Mr. Malfoy shows up and he slapped him with
Mm-hmm.
the
With the
cane on his
cane.
hand.
Yeah.
Well, in the original take, he hit him so hard with that cane, as you know, as a cobra, he was bleeding.
Yikes.
And they cut the scene, and he was no, they was in the middle of the scene, and he looked at Tom. He's like, oh my God, are you okay? Are you okay? And he's sitting there, no, no, it's for the movie. It's okay, it's okay. He's whimpering and stuff. But he said after every scene, when he was mad, when he was bad to Draco, he would. After every scene, he'd be hugging him afterwards. It's okay, it's okay. And Draco was like, it made no sense because I was used to him yelling at me. And then 2 minutes later,
Then
he's
all of
like,
a
"Are
sudden he
you
was
okay?"
hugging me.
Right? He's like, "Are you okay? Are
That-
you okay?"
That's so
so,
cute.
so, but I would say you should watch it, Christina, as a Harry Potter fan. Just seeing all them, and Neville's so skinny, but he's so big. He's still a big kid, but he's skinny. He's like in shape. He doesn't look anything like he was, when he first started. Um, but that's but the biggest thing that started after we after our break is Book of Boba Fett started right before Christmas. I want to say, or was it? It was after Christmas.
Yeah, the week after
It
Christmas.
was after. It was a week after Christmas. I thought we was getting 2 episodes at first, but we only got one, and then we got the second one this week.
This week.
But there was a lot of stuff that came out of that. First, we figured out how he got out of the Sarlacc pit,
Sarlacc.
which, if y'all had never seen, there's a Park and Recreations episode where Patton Oswalt is stonewalling the council, right? Because he doesn't want them to vote on something, And Nate, you in politics, you know what they do when they're stonewalling. He's just sitting up there reading stuff. So he was basically reading a Star Wars script, and he says in one part that Boba Fett's hand stretches out over the desert as he's coming out of the Sarlacc pit, and it was almost scene for scene what had happened in the actual movie or in the TV show. And he put up on his Twitter, he's like, haha, I did it. I am vindicated.
Yes.
um so evidently he burned the Sarlacc in for the out. And for folks that don't know or realize, this is going to be spoilers, and I should have said that at the top of the hour. We're going to have spoilers on everything. So just so you know, there's going to be spoilers. But he escaped from there, but he had a rough time on Tatooine after getting out that Sarlacc. He did not have an enjoyable experience on Tatooine leading up to when he ran into Jindarin and the Mandalorian. And I don't know, Nate, if you want to go into that of everything he went through, and he's still going. They're still doing flashbacks.
Well, first off,
The little robber barons.
them some of my bitches. They turn around. He busts through. The poor man. We don't know how long he was in the Sarlacc's belly.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that saved the poor man was when he woke up. He couldn't breathe. He turned on his light. He sees a stormtrooper that was not on boat. That was not on the ship.
On Jabba's palace, which I begs the question: where did he come from?
So that fool was out. He was probably one of the groups of stormtroopers that were on Tatooine looking for the original droids.
So wait a minute. You mean to tell me? So it's what, about 6 years between episode 1 and episode 3, or is it like 4 or like 5 or 6? Is it 5 or 10?
It's about 5 years. So that means that sucker was there down there 5 years getting
Still
swallowed.
decomposing.
But thank God, and it's crazy, his air tank had not been punctured. So Boba squirms over him in this nasty Sarlacc belly, gets his oxygen, punches through the wall, burns the damn Sarlacc from the inside, and then gets out, and then he finally climbs out through the sand, and he's laying there, bruised, half swallowed. And then here come them little Robin, some of
Them
my
fucking
bitches,
Jawas.
Gimme,
and
gimme,
they
me.
and they strip him. You some of my, and then he
Took all my
reaches
shit.
for one of them, and they hit him with the back of a gun right in the face. Kabaya!
And leave him for dead.
Leave him for dead. And so then here comes the Tuscan Raiders, and then they say they give him some juice from a worm, which Elijah almost took off running in my house when they did that.
Mm-hmm.
And so Elijah was like, "That's disgusting," and I was like, "I agree," but it woke him up. And so then they capture him, and the last couple of miles, fool can't even walk. The sun is on him because the Tatooine has two suns, and they just drag him on his back for the last part of the journey.
Can
I
I
was like,
say? Can I say one thing? Those Tuscan Raider kids are a bunch of assholes.
"Have you met some American children?"
First of all, I'm not gonna let my American children run up to somebody. Well, okay, never mind. I'll take that back. Run up and just start beating on a prisoner who's just sitting
Can I
there.
tell you something? You wouldn't. Have you met some of your neighbors? I tell you, some of my neighbors would.
So, for those that don't know, there is a scene where Boba finally gets to the camp, and they haven't given him any water, I think, except for the initial time that they picked him up.
That
And
wasn't water. That was juice from a damn
hey,
worm.
that's water to them. So they have tied him to a post, or they haven't even tied him to the post. He's still tied to the back of the what the hell are those mammoths called? I can't remember what they're called. Um, and the kids, the Tuscan Raider kids, run up and just start beating on him like he a drum. Just beating on him, just stupid. Now this is in flashbacks. Now while that's going on, there's also another story where he is taking over as Jabba's, heir apparent after he killed the last person that took over.
He's he's the new Baron. Go ahead.
Yes. But he wants to rule by respect, which
Which
a
is
lot of
the
people go
first
ahead.
mistake. That's his first mistake.
Is it?
That's his
It worked
first.
with the Tuscans?
And
No,
He
it
proved
did.
himself though.
Right, he
he
proved himself.
proved himself to the
He
Tuscans.
was a prisoner at first.
Hmm.
All he
So
did with the town was kill someone. Like that doesn't
Well, that's how
necessarily
you get
prove
power.
anything. Well, yeah.
Isn't
he
that why
still hadn't
the twins
proved
didn't mess with him? The twins
he
was like,
still
yeah, we don't want to
he
deal with him.
nah he still hadn't proven himself, and so he's sitting over there. And what do they call it? The tank, the best bit.
Yeah, yeah.
And so he's in the tank. Back.
Yep.
Yeah.
Healing
And
himself,
so
which
and
he
he's in
needs it
there.
every day. It seems.
He needs it every day because of what the hell he went through on Tuscan with the Tuscans
Hmm.
on Tatooine. And so he's in that tank. They get him out. They go get tributes, and everybody comes in. I love how they're giving him tributes and threatening him at the same time. And then the mayor comes in for his tribute. He ain't
It
got
wasn't
no
even a
tribute.
mayor,
It was the mayor's whatever
aide, advisor. Yeah.
advisor, and then the mayor's advisor is waiting for Boba to give the mayor tributes.
Hmm.
I said, "Wow, that's a
And he
ball."
was like, it don't work like that. And Finnick is just ready to just kill everybody. She's just like, you know what? I got this. Let me just take him out. Let me just take him out.
Can I
And even
tell you something though?
what's
I,
that?
I don't agree with Finnick wanting to kill everybody, but the mayor's aide should have died.
Yeah, because he was still a little. He was a little ass.
That mayor's some bitch. They should have iced his ass. What they should have sent back to mayor was one of those damn I don't know, one of his head parts on the side. They
Hmm.
should have cut off one of them and sent him back and said, "Don't you ever do that again."
And then so the episode ends with him being attacked by some assassins, who I automatically assumed was from the mayor. I automatically assumed that, but
I
we
did
find
too.
out later it was not from the mayor. Um, so yeah, Finnick is about that life. She ain't got no time for no jibba jabba. She's just like, what you want to do? Let's do it. She ready for that. She ready for that smoke. I liken her, Nate, and Nate, you probably know this, the old girl from New Jack City. Rockabye baby.
She got that life.
Rockabye, baby. So,
Hold on, pause 1 second.
yes, sir.
Wild Night, you got a cigar? If you got one, make sure you got it lit up, bruh. Anyway, proceed.
So it ends with Finnick actually capturing the guy, and that kind of tapers into the next episode, which to me was hilarious. Just the whole thing with the Rancor, and I'm like, so I guess only the people in Jabba's inner circle or that were in the palace that day, which of course they all died on the barge, realized that the Rancor was dead. And Finnick's just like, oh, feed him to the Rancor. And he's just like, oh, wait, this is who attacked you. It was the mayor. It was the mayor. And she's like,
Funny.
it's dead, dumbass. Because I was wondering what they were going to do, you know. Um, so, he ends up finding out that it was Jabba's cousins or nieces and nephew who were twins.
The twins.
Yeah.
I thought they were the niece and nephew, like you
Yeah, they're
said.
niece and nephew, and they're trying to kill him, and then they're like, oh, that's okay, but man, that you the Wookiee.
Again, Black Chrysanthemum. That's his
Mhm.
name.
Yep.
Black Chrysanthemum walked out, and
He about
Elijah
that
looked.
life too.
Oh, when he walked out, Elijah looked at me and he was like, "Damn, Chewbacca cousin look mean." I said, "Yeah, he ain't, but he about that life too. He about that life." If you just do a little bit, if you're not into Star Wars, do a search about what Black Chrysanthemum has done. Dude is a monster.
Hmm.
I did a little research on Black Chrysanthemum. I said, damn, he about that life. He
He
about that
really
life.
is.
Because
He.
if you realize he went up against Obi-Wan.
Yeah, and that's how his eyes messed up.
That's how he's got that line across his forehead, right above his eye, because and like he said, always been Black Chrysanthemum almost beat Obi. He's been to Tatooine before and almost beat Obi-Wan. And
Which is a
Obi-Wan,
little weird. Like if he's been to Tatooine and he and Obi-Wan ran into him, how does Vader not know? Well, Vader had already killed Obi-Wan, so it was at that point it didn't matter because he hired both him and Boba Fett at the same time to find Leia and Luke and all them. Um, oh, I missed the cousin Hut wiping his sweat off with that hamster. I did not
Yep.
see that. Oh
Yeah,
my
that was
god.
weird.
that was hysterically weird to me. It was like, that's weird but hilarious.
So Christina, what are your thoughts on episodes 1 and 2?
I thought they were good. It was very interesting to see like his character development with the Raiders and like
Hmm.
how he just kind of showed his adaptability and was like, all right, like I'm stuck with them. I guess I'm just gonna make the best of a bad situation. So I thought that
Hmm.
was cool. I like how he like earned his staff. Like that was cool. And
Well,
then
he
I
made it
literally
too,
like the end
right?
of the last episode, I was like, one of us, one of us the whole freaking time because that's what he was doing.
And it looked like they
Yeah.
were doing almost. It was almost similar to because I think is he from New Zealand? I can't remember if he's one of
Oh, I don't know,
uh, the
but yeah,
warriors from New
it did
Zealand.
kind of look like a Haka type thing.
Yeah,
Can
yeah.
we
It
can
was,
we back up a minute? Can we back
yes,
up a
sir.
minute?
Yes, sir.
Okay, one of the things I loved about the Boba Fett development with the Tusken Raiders is that first off, the female Tusken Raider was whooping his tail. She was a
Hmm.
beast, right?
Hmm.
And
And
an
so
ass.
then we find out. I love how they developed the Tusken Raiders. All we thought well they were bad people, but they're actually survivors.
Well, they
The,
have to deal with Earth worlds coming to their world and just taking their resources, what
but if
little
you think
resources they have.
But if you think about it, Tatooine used to be a very lush, vegetative uh, world until it was bombed terribly. And
Hmm.
because of being bombed terribly, there were multiple, as they said, multiple tribes. Most of them died. The only ones that survived was a few tribes of the Tusken Raiders and the Jawas. Everybody else didn't survive when it went from a lush vegetative state to basically a place that was 150 degrees all
Hmm.
the time. So my point is that you find out that all they were trying to do was survive and live. And then when the train started coming, you see that these guys that are part of the guild that Han Solo's lady is now running,
Mm-hmm.
and they were basically down there stealing spice from Tatooine and basically shooting up the Tusken Raiders to make sure nobody stole their spice. But the Tusken
Well,
Raiders
but the Tuscans wasn't even trying to attack the train. It just looked like to me they
exactly.
was just doing oh, I'm driving this way. Let me just shoot out the window
And let
at
me just
people.
kill who's ever there, even if they're not trying to steal the spice. So you can
Hmm.
see the Tuscans are not about stealing spice. They don't even know what the freak spice is.
Nope.
And so then they're just shooting them and killing them. And then you see Boba go in be a bad because remember, I can't remember the name of that group that went and stole the water from the water miner or the water guy that was there, and
Hmm.
they put their mark on his building, stole his water, and beat him down.
Hmm.
And so I love how Boba went and got those particular raiders, whooped their tail, and brought back the speeders. And did you see the Tuscans go to tear up the speeders? I was like, that's dope. He was like, no, no, no. These are mine. I'm gonna show you how to use them. That was pure comedy.
Hmm.
And he eventually led them to tear up the damn train where they was just
And not
hauling.
only that, but get money or some stuff from that gang. Like, okay, if you want to cross, this is basically you want to cross their territory, you got to pay them some kind of tribute.
And so
And
not only did he establish the Tusken Raiders as being a formidable foe, but he
hmm
made them money. That
yep.
was dope.
And it's not like they need money. They live off the land anyway, and they take whatever they want. But to be able to then get stuff from these gangsters who probably see them as just peons is something in and of itself. That's a something for them. But Christina, what else were you thinking? I'm sorry about the episode or the episodes. I can't hear you. You're talking. Help if you
I thought it was
unmute.
good.
Okay.
I thought it was a good time. I'm excited to see where it goes with the story. Love Finnick, Queen, love her.
I'm getting a little bit
Um,
tired. I hope after episode 3 there's no more flashbacks. I don't think we
yeah,
need any more flashbacks with the Tuscans. Now it should just be I think after episode 3, like 4, 5, and 6 should just concentrate on what's going on right now.
But
yeah,
think about it. Those gangsters are part of that larger group that's now being head by Kira. I
Hmm.
had to look up her name. Kira's Han Solo's girlfriend,
Right,
and
because Darth Maul got killed. He's
Mark
dead.
Maul got killed by Obi-Wan.
Yep.
So now we have. I think that opens up Kira to come into this Boba Fett series, which I think would be dopey dope dope dope.
Hmm.
well, we also have to prep for the Obi Wan series too,
Yes. Yes,
because
Obi
that's
Wan is. I don't know when that's releasing. Probably summer or spring or something like that. I know Mandalorian 3 should be coming out soon after Book of Boba Fett. There's nothing right now, but I think it's probably coming out at the end of this year. So I don't know if Grogu's going to return or if it's just going to be about, Jin Darden on Mandalore with the sword dealing with
sometime in
them.
2022,
Okay, well, we got 11 more months left.
and it's supposedly planned as a single season show.
Okay, we'll see. Well, Ewan is getting up there, so and
Yeah,
even Anakin is just he's not a young sprite dude anymore. Not that he
no,
needs to be inside the suit, but still, that's a bit much. Um, so Nate, any final thoughts about Boba and where it's going? I know it started off slow for some people. Some folks thought it started off slow, but I think it
I thought it
needed to
started
start off
off
slow.
just fine. I thought it
Hmm.
started off just fine. I think episode 2 got me really excited because
Hmm.
I want to see what the twins are gonna do. I want to see how many more people are gonna try Boba. I want to see if he
Oh,
if this
everybody's going to keep trying Boba because he's a mercenary for them. I
Mhm.
mean, look at how the
And
mayor talked to him. The mayor, man, man.
Yeah.
and so I want to see. I can't wait to see Black Chrysanthemum. I can't wait to see him and Boba go dance. I'm
Hmm.
looking forward to that dance because that's a Wookiee. And that's a badass. Any Wookiee that could survive a fight from Obi-Wan and still be walking around with all of his legs, all of his arms, and still be a
Hmm.
bad man, that's a son of a gun right there. And I can't wait to see what the twins are going to do. I can't wait to see how this is going to trend. I think the Obi Wan series is gonna be prepped. I can't wait to see if Kira shows up because you messed with that
Is it the
one.
Black Suns? Is that who it is, or who? What group does she lead?
I think it's the Black Suns.
Okay.
But my thing is, I can't wait to see what else they do.
Hmm.
Another thing, I want to see who's gonna pop up again. There's gonna be some amazing cameos. I just don't know who it's gonna be yet. I don't know if it's Kira. I don't know who it's going to be, but I'm looking forward to it all. Remember
You know
when
who I think it might be, Nate? You know who I think it might be? Kate Bishop.
you know
I'm
who
telling you, you gotta watch that last episode because her and Elena made
So
that
funny.
whole thing. They
So
made that whole thing. I'm telling you. But anyway, go ahead, Nate. I'm sorry.
another thing. Remember one very important thing
What's that?
when Obi Wan hired Han Solo on
Hmm.
Tatooine.
Hmm.
So I think it's going to be we might see Chewie. I just don't know who we're going to see, but I'm looking forward
I
to it.
don't know if we're gonna see Chewie. That's Chewie and Han are out there right now because this is before
this
Force
is after Return of
Awakens.
the Jedi. Yeah. This
Right.
is
This is
like in
before
between
Force
that
Awakens.
time.
So they're out there doing. They're still with the rebels right now, doing
And
their
I'm
thing.
saying I get that they're still with the rebels, but you just don't know. I'm looking forward to the episode. Episode one was good. I knew it was a foundational episode.
No,
Ep-
not Carol Baskin. No. No, not Carol Baskin.
You went wide on me. I wasn't expecting that. Um,
Oh
I
God.
wonder if I want. Now I know Darth is dead. Um,
Yes. Kylo's not born yet. Rey's not
Nope.
born yet.
Nope.
None of them are born. This is still the infancy of the Republic, and you got to remember, there's not a lot of on the fringe systems. There's not a lot of the Republic out there yet, or the New
Nope.
Republic. And we've seen in the Mandalorian series that the New Republic isn't. Nobody gives a hell about them. The Empire is still doing what they do. What the remnants of it are still
no,
doing
no, doing what they
On the
normally
fringe.
do.
Yep.
exactly. They just don't have a centralized leadership. And that's probably why the First Order was able to become, do what they did
As
because
big
they
as it
still
was,
had a
yeah.
they
Because they
still
still
had
had
a
a
lot of
solid hold
resources.
on the outskirts, yeah.
Hmm. Well, they also had all the resources. The If you remember, the rebels were rebels. They didn't have like a centralized resources to create and build things.
Yeah.
It was a ragtag group. It was like the A team, a ragtag group of folks. Um, but Boba's starting off interesting. And Nate, going back to the Matrix, would you watch Matrix Resurrections again, or would you watch Eternals again?
Resurrection.
No, okay.
He's a Matrix. He's a Matrix horror. He's biased.
I am a Matrix whore. I fully admit it.
Hmm. Well, Christina, you finally watched Eternals, right?
I did. Yeah.
What did you think?
Thought we talked about this last week.
Oh, did we? All right, it's been
Yeah.
a minute. It's been a couple weeks.
But freaking Rob Stark flying into the sun to escape his consequences.
Well, he is a machine
I saw it and I still don't understand why the freak we even got it.
because they
I
had nothing else better to do. They had
That's
nothing else
exactly what I
better to do.
think. I think they had nothing else better to do, which then makes me wonder. We
Are
have
you?
so We have so much more coming out. Why did we need this?
I mean, it set the foundation for what's his face, the dude with the sword.
Black Knight.
It introduced that person. It also introduced something else. Can't remember what I was thinking of.
Well, let me ask you this: who did you guys think was talking to Black Knight at the end of the movie during the credits?
Oh, I thought it was Fury. But
no,
then again,
Fury's off world.
Fury's off world.
Mm-hmm.
Coulson maybe.
There's rumors that folks are thinking it might have been Blade, the new Blade.
Interesting. That'd be dope.
I don't know if him and Blade would interact well. So on the horizons, we got Mobius, which is in the Venom universe.
Yeah.
And then you got
but also it's
Doctor Strange.
Yeah. Mobius also, you see the villain from the first Spider-Man.
Oh, it was yeah, Wild Knight said it was Blade. It was Blade.
Yeah.
So who is
Mobius is in
God,
like
I can't think
Venom,
of his name. Is it Marisha
Spider-Man.
Ali is playing this character? Okay.
I think so.
Okay. So Christina, all in all, what did you think about some of the topics we discussed? Or I know you haven't seen the Harry Potter thing, so what did
I'm excited for Book of Boba Fett. I'm excited to see where they take that and how they continue expanding Star Wars. Apparently Matrix was C+ worthy.
Well, you have to watch the first 3 and then come in with your own decision on the 4th one. I was fine. I was fine with it. I was fine with it.
I was fine with it too.
I was fine with it. I've watched it 2 more times. I was fine with it, and to me it was interesting. There was some parts where it was like, I know a lot of people said it was slow in the beginning, but I'm sitting there like, what do you expect them to do? They have to pull him out and they have to find a way to do it. And I think that was, and it did start off kind of like the first one, which they explain why it started off like that. So that, and then Harry Potter was just a nice refresher of the world. They did have the next Grindelwald, or not Grindelwald, but what is it? Fantastic Beasts. That trailer came out a little while ago. I think we discussed that a little bit, Christina, or did we not? Yeah. With the second or the third, unfortunately, because Johnny Depp was pushed out, the third Grindelwald, who just can't seem to keep the same face no matter what movie he's in. So that should be interesting. We'll see with the new Dumbledore, or not new Dumbledore, but the new Dumbledore sibling who never existed anywhere in the books, and they just pulling this one out their ass.
Aberforth?
That's not Aberforth, is it?
Oh, wait, what? There's a new Dumbledore? It's not Aberforth? It's not Ariana?
No, I thought that was like some brother they didn't know existed or something. I didn't think that was Aberforth.
I also haven't seen the second Fantastic Beasts, and I barely remember the trailer for the third one.
Oh my god. Okay, I'm gonna have to talk to you about your Harry Potter.
I wasn't into it.
Why? Because it wasn't
No.
Let me see who Credence actually is.
Are they trying to say Credence is a Dumbledore?
Yes, Credence is a Dumbledore.
I mean, that's probably J.K. Rowling trying to pull something out of her ass.
But it makes no sense. They never discussed a fourth sibling.
Well,
ever.
I mean, he's the younger one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Would he be younger than Ariana?
Yes.
I mean, if they thought because they thought he was a squib in the first one, right?
Right, and then he turned out to be the whatchamacallit, yes.
Exactly. So it would make sense if he was given up, because you know how they talk about that in the books all the time, how like pureblood families would give up their squid kids.
Right, he was a Credence Barbone. Or I'm sorry, he was a Obscurus.
Yeah. So it would make sense if like they didn't know they had a brother if they gave up the kid because they thought it was a squib.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes sense, but it also doesn't make sense because it's freaking J.K. Rowling pulling stuff out of her ass again.
Mm-hmm. He is Aurelius Dumbledore, Albus's long lost brother.
Okay.
Again, J.K. Rowling, you're basically retconning Dumbledore's history, which we all got in the books of
And she does
Harry
it
Potter.
with him in particular all the freaking time.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know why, but she does.
Yeah, he's the long lost brother.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah,
Does he like die in Fantastic Beasts? Because where is he in the other 7 movies?
That's why you don't make him a Dumbledore. If anything, you could have made him like Snape's
It's
long
like when they
brother or
remade
something.
Rey and Palpatine. It doesn't make any sense. Why? Why?
Oh, now they're saying that one theory is that he's Ariana's son. I'm like, she wasn't old enough
She
to
died.
have. She wasn't
died
old
at, like,
to have a child.
15.
Mm-hmm. So is that what they do in the wizarding world? They do a whole lot of incest, or not incest, but marrying off their kids like they're in certain cultures.
I mean, they do because they have like marriage contracts and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that.
And I was watching the first one the other day, the first Harry Potter, and I just sat back and looked at the aunt, and I was like, "Do you understand? You're just a jealous woman, and you took it out on your nephew. Do you really understand this? That like for 11 years,
you were horrible to someone because he had something you didn't,
or because he was, and that's your blood relative. That's just like Snape. Snape was mad at Harry for being
you look like your dad. Well, no shit.
I'm sorry. I was born looking like my dad.
All he was doing was sitting there and taking notes, and he yelled at him.
Oh, that didn't make sense to me at all. He's sitting there. You can tell he's taking notes. You look at him. You can see he's making notes. He's like, "Oh, you're not paying attention." Like, dude, I'm writing.
A new celebrity. And then just ask all these freaking questions that he's apparently supposed to know.
Yes, and he's grown up in a Muggle household. This because Dumbledore has been pretty open with where the boy's been for all his life.
But he grew up as a pampered prince.
No, actually, he grew up as a bullied.
Exactly,
and that's why he doesn't
and
like
I think
Draco.
That's one thing that has always bothered me about, especially Snape's character, is he just put on these like red tinted glasses when it came to Harry.
Because of who his dad was.
Because of who his dad is, even though Snape himself comes from an abusive household. And a lot of Slytherins also come from abusive households.
Draco.
Because their parents are Death Eaters. So, like, how did you not recognize?
You know what? Draco's mom was not.
Child.
Was Draco's mom abusive, though?
No, it was mainly Lucius. But I also, a lot of, like, Death Eater parents would, like, hex their children as punishment. So it's like, how, if you as someone from an abusive past not recognized another abused child? Like, it's messed up.
Mm-hmm. It's easy to bully. It's easy to bully. Harder not to be a bully.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So, Christina, any plugs or things you got going on, or anything you want to?
Going to university tomorrow. Woo! That's all I got. I ain't doing nothing else.
Other than working like a Hebrew slave.
Like a Hebrew slave.
Mm-hmm.
I have 3 days off next week now.
How is that even possible? Oh yeah, that's right. You had it because you're supposed to be coming here.
Yep.
That's right.
And I just don't care enough to tell them that I don't need it anymore. Don't care.
Big Nate.
The old school drive?
No old school drive because the game.
No,
there's no game. There's an old school drive tomorrow. Ha ha.
That was right.
Yes, like I said, the Dallas Cowboys are playing today, which means the old school drive from 1 to 5 with me. Big Nate is rolling at his normal time, 1 p.m. Mountain Time. Tune in for the greatest hits of the 60s, 70s, and 80s. www.fieto106.1.com.
Fieto.
It's hot. Hot.
smoke it.
Oh, all right. Well, I
You know,
want to thank everyone.
wait.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know what's crazy about my life is
Other than
DJ.
that
you, other
we
than
have
you, and
we
your
have
children,
yeah, my children are nuts. Um,
and your dogs. I mean, other than those.
crazy the dogs are nuts. But here's the thing. Um, I was hired to be on the old school drive show, or they always had an oldies show on the Hispanic radio station. But what's crazy, but what's crazy is that today I just finished up a remote at Tate Branch Autoplex where they had me, Nate Banks, Big Nate. This is the second time in many months doing a remote where I did a special on the country western station, 92.9 The Brand.
Mm-hmm.
So it's cracking me up how now, not only am I doing the old school music that I grew up with, but they got me on dealing with the new hot country, 92.9 The Brand.
Exactly. What is the new hot country?
It's we don't play the old stuff from the 70s and 80s. It's the new literally the newer country western singers.
Well,
Like
okay. Hold on.
Keith
So
Urban.
70? No. Because to me that would be still old. I could see if you go on 2000 on, but if you're including the 90s,
No,
it's
we
oh,
are
okay.
not including the 90s. It's
Okay.
2000 on.
So
Okay.
like Carrie Underwood and like
Hot new country.
all those
And
people.
and your favorite person, Christina? Go ahead. Taylor, who can't make up her
She's
mind
not
which
country.
she can't make up her mind what genre she wants to be.
Exactly.
She just
For
trying to
for
find.
those that don't know, Christina loves Taylor Swift.
With a burning passion.
Can I tell you?
She
She's just.
she would she ain't Christina would treat her like the Sarlacc pit in Boba Fett.
Burn it to the ground. Burn her
Toasty.
all her own.
Listen, Christina. The only reason why she went to country is she's trying to find new guys to date. That's
Look.
all.
Wow.
Look.
Wow.
You said it, not me.
Wow. And on that note, I want to thank everyone for joining us. I know we jumped around a lot, but that's what we usually do anyway.
You haven't been
um,
here. That's a
yes,
shame.
that's what we
You
do.
would know.
So next week we'll probably focus more on Boba Fett because I don't think there's anything else going on in between. Or next year, I mean next week. I don't think if we do have a show, it depends on. Oh no, Christina's schedule. She's open Friday and Saturday, so we can have a show depending on Big Nate's schedule on if how the games go.
I'll probably we could do a show on Saturday.
I
All
hope
right,
the Cowboys lose.
and there we go. You don't even know who they facing next week.
Don't care.
Playoffs is next week.
I'm a Bears fan. I hope the Cowboys lose.
The Bears and the Cowboys aren't really rivals. I could
I
see
don't care.
if you said Green Bay.
I definitely hope the Packers lose.
So let me ask you this: between Green Bay and the Cowboys,
Oh shit.
who would you rather see win?
The Cowboys. Fuck the Packers.
Wow, Mr. Banks, I asked you the same question. Between the Cowboys and the Packers, who would you rather see win?
I hate them both with an equal passion. So
Yes, but those are your two choices.
shit. Oh God. Oh, I got an ulcer thinking about it.
You
Shoot.
want some Metamucil?
Oh God.
Need some Excedrin? You okay?
Seriously, I need Excedrin. I need the headache medicine. What the hell?
Now, see, I could have helped you out by saying the Bucks, because then you probably would have went with the Bucks. But now I'm giving you the two most hated teams for the Bears,
In the whole
which is the
NFL.
Cowboys and the Packers.
I have to begrudgingly say the Cowboys.
Okay, see, and I would say the Packers actually, but that's just me.
God.
I'm sorry, but that's because I have made a promise, though. I will not besmirch the Cowboys until this season is over, and then
Gotcha.
it's back on. And then I will continue my beratement of the Bucks. I mean, of the Cowboys. But anyway, I want to thank everyone for joining us that was able to join us. This will go up live on your favorite podcasting venue later tonight, and or actually probably tomorrow morning, early tomorrow morning. But thank you all for joining us, and I'm gonna for Christina and Big Nate, this is Cliff, and we're signing out. And y'all
Hey,
have a good
hey,
day. Well, yes,
I
yes.
gotta tell everybody. Cliff asked me that dumb question, so now I gotta go find some Pepto Bismol.
What? Pepto-Bismol?
Sir, you need just more
You got
fiber,
an
sir.
upset
That'll
stomach?
push it all out of you. Get some
No, man, my
get some
stomach
apple
was not.
cider vinegar. Apple
No,
cider
my
vinegar.
stomach was not sour till you asked me that dumb damn question. Damn.
The funny part is both of y'all said Cowboys, to which I'm sure if Angel's godfather was listening to this, he would have chimed in and said, "You're damn right."
Of course.
But
Look, as a true Bears fan, I cannot choose the Packers at any point.
At any point.
At any point.
Any point. If I had to ask who was the one bus that wouldn't slide off the road, I couldn't choose the Packers.
Can't do it. They get no credit from me.
just so you know your older brother is a Packer fan, but he really don't care.
God.
He don't really care.
Disgusting.
But thank you all for joining us, and we will talk to y'all later.
I hope Aaron Rodgers twisted that damn foot again.
Oh my God.
Can't stand that son of a bitch.
Sir, I seem to recall you being upset, saying this is not how I wanted a team to win back when one of the Rangers players got knocked out before the playoffs.
Yeah, but that was the Rangers.
But they
You mean
were
the
beating
Raiders?
up the White Sox. No, the Rangers.
Rangers.
They were beating up the White Sox. It was the Texans.
Oh, are we talking about baseball now? That was a pivot.
Yeah, this is a long time ago. I think it was before you were even born. Or no, it was a little bit afterwards. You were still a baby.
I cannot root for a son of a bitch that yelled to the Bears, "I still own you."
Well, sir, if you look at our game history with the Packers,
Look,
we are
not the
his
point,
bitch.
okay? Not the point.
We are his bitch, and you cannot tell me
Not
otherwise.
The point. The point is, fuck the Packers, okay? That's the point. Bye, y'all. I'll see y'all later.
I hope all they jerseys shrink.
or gets mixed up with the cheerleaders' jerseys. Oh wait,
Damn
don't have
right.
cheerleaders
Go out there in a tutu, you son of a bitch.
All right, y'all. Have a happy Saturday.
Bye.